What is up? I bet that you'd look good on the dance floor, Brett.
All those nights in New York or different dance floor.
Different dance floor, but well played. T Swift, who knew? I'm really enjoying that album, but we won't start with that. But I'm really enjoying that album, and I did not see this coming.
Her
What a
talons get in you and they don't get out.
it's like
We'll get to it, but
it's like emo music, but just coming from Taylor Swift. It's very self-deprecating.
it is.
All
Which
right,
we'll get to.
Yes. Hello everybody. What a week. What a week for 30-year-old emo kids on the West Coast. When we were young,
even the East Coast. We got some news today.
yes. And there were East Coast travelers, but I was thinking, true. It's festival news season right now because shit's popping off. But yeah, when we were young, happened, still happening. It's gonna happen again this weekend, I think, like both days. Pretty sure they're just running it
And they
back.
reschedule it, right?
No, I think they
it's
just
two
sold
again.
multiple weekends of tickets.
Oh, good
Yeah.
for them. I thought it was
Yeah.
only one weekend, but they were rescheduling the windy date.
Oh, possibly.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think you're wrong. I think it's just another weekend that they're running it back. But the windy date we have to talk about. We have to talk about the wind and how the wind killed emo and messed up so much hair that was hanging in people's eyes. You can't possibly have an emo fest when people's bangs can't fall properly in front of their face.
I didn't realize that Vegas had weather. I thought it was just sunny and hot all year round.
Right? Yeah, same. I didn't put much thought into it. Apparently wind is a thing out there, and it was like 30 to 40 mile an hour winds with 60 mile an hour gusts. So like you can't have that.
No,
You can't have that because there's
that would
that.
have been miserable
Did
for
you
the
ever see
bands
the
and for the
video
people.
of the Indiana State Fair stage that collapsed in 2011?
I might have, but I haven't seen it in a while.
Google this.
That was from wind.
If you're Indiana State Fair stage, it's terrifying. And it just goes to show like you can't risk this. That they had to do it. And I just hope all those people were able to still make a night of it. I mean, at least you're out in Vegas, right? Like it's not the end of the world, but kind of. But yeah, some sad stories. People traveled from like Germany, Australia. Like I was seeing so many accounts online of people that flew in for this and scheduled their whole trip around it, and then it just got canceled. And if you can't stay for Sunday / get tickets for Sunday, you're just kind of shit out of luck. Yeah, you're watching it right now. Yeah, for anyone watching on YouTube, Brett's face is
Okay, they made a great decision not to have this.
yeah. Like I have so many
Oh
things
my
I want to talk
God.
about with this. I do want to get to the good because Sunday went off well and it was a great day. But I first want to address the people who are like, it's Firefest 2.0. Shut up.
Watch
Shut
this
up.
YouTube video I just watched.
This was nothing like Firefest. Firefest overpromised, underdelivered, had nothing set up, no bands. I'm sure everyone's watched the documentaries. I don't have to recount every F up they did, but this was just weather happened and they had to cancel it. Firefest would have been if they put it on and a stage blew down and killed people. So this was not Firefest. And for anyone who was laughing at Saturday getting canceled because you're just some weird, cynical person who's mad they didn't get to go, you also suck. So I just want to address those people because it just, to be happy a festival got canceled that you're not even going to, like, that's just a level of cynicism that is just, I feel bad for you. All right, that's out of the way.
They're allowed to react like that only if like people showed up and none of the bands were there.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you can react that way. But this was like a legitimate festival that was actually happening and was confirmed with the artists. And they were there. Like they did put on other shows, I believe, that night when the show got called. I think that's
Yeah.
what you sent me, right? Hawthorne Heights was playing.
Yeah, I made a list of all the shows I could find that happened. So Armor for Sleep, Hawthorne Heights, and Red Jumpsuit Apparatus put on a show. And it was free. They made it free. They just wanted to play. And it it got completely like flooded with people as you would expect. So those that made it in, made it in. Everyone else was kind of shit out of luck. Um and then who else did a show? Who else did a show? Um Census Fail did a show with Law Dispute and someone else. And Buddy put up a video, like a live Instagram that I was watching, and he was kind of just talking about how bummed they were and how because they live in Vegas now, which I didn't realize. But he's like, we kind of have connections where we can like put this show on and like we can get a good venue at last minute. So they were able to do that. I know All American Rejects put on a show. Yes, people were trying.
Was it a Pretty Little Secret show?
It was Dirty Little Secret.
Ah, damn it.
Sorry, that song stinks anyway. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Sorry.
It does a little bit.
Yeah, I never really loved that song. But that I think it's so cool that these bands were able to put on some shows. And I was reading how like the headliners weren't legally allowed to put on shows because they're like just owned by Live Nation at this point. So like My Chem couldn't have done something even if they wanted to. Things like that. It's kinda
Ticketmaster
interesting.
strikes again.
Yeah. There was a Wonder. Oh, this was the Law Dispute. It was Wonder Years, Law Dispute, and Mom Jeans, and Sweet Pill. They put on a show.
Oh, that's
And
pretty good.
yeah, yeah. And then there was like this main street. I think it's called Fremont Street. I want to say, and it's where like everyone just like flooded, and there was like a DJ there, and the DJ early on in the day, they like pivoted and just played all emo music. So it was just a big sing along. And then as like night came around, the DJs played more like pop music and stuff because I guess they had like their sets that they planned to do. So they weren't about to just change it all, even though it would have been pretty cool if they did. But
Would have been
so
nice.
yeah, but the earlier DJs did. So that was cool. I saw videos of like a mariachi band in like some restaurant playing I'm Not Okay, I Promise, and like the whole restaurant was singing along. Like it was really sad for the people that it got canceled for because I've been there and you want to cry. And you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's just a festival, it's just a concert, whatever. But you go from just so much anticipation and excitement for fun to just complete devastation and disbelief. And it's yeah, it really sucks.
It's
So
all in the hands of Mother Nature.
yeah, exactly. Like there's really nothing that could have been done. So, but Sunday went off without a hitch for the most part. And it looked like a great day from what I saw following online. Everyone seemed to really have a great time. There were two main stages like next to each other. Um I forget what they're called. One was called I want to say the pink stage. And there was like this VIP section of tickets. And they were able to get close to that stage, but everyone else wasn't, which is kind of weird. So
That's
like,
not a good system.
yeah, I thought it was kind of dumb. And I wasn't there, so like maybe I like looked at it wrong, but it was kind of odd. Um but from what I saw, there were certain like mosh pit areas that like if you found your way to, that was the place to be. And
They
it
had
was like
designated mosh sections.
kind of, I don't know if it was like crowd designated, like this is just where it's going down. But there was one where they were capping it. So like two people had to leave if they were going to let two people in type of thing. So
Controlled chaos, basically.
yeah, a little bit. And it looked really crowded from what I saw because you had everyone who couldn't go Sunday or Saturday do whatever they could to get tickets. And man, I saw people selling single tickets for like $700 and getting responses because you got to figure some people travel across like the country, across from other countries. And you're at that point, you're like, I came to see these bands. Like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get there if you can. But yeah, people, it was kind of crazy. And then I heard stories of people would get in and they would just screenshot their ticket and text it to their friend, and their friend would get in with the same exact ticket.
I like that loophole.
Yeah, I like
I'm
that
sure
too.
it's going to be fixed in the future, but that's
Yeah,
an
that's pretty
awesome
nice.
loophole to
It
have.
definitely doesn't help with crowding, but whatever. It looked
Stick it to
it looked
Ticketmaster,
packed. Yeah, exactly. Um,
which we'll talk about more, I'm sure.
yeah, yeah. Um, it it looked great though. There were these lines getting in that were like people were like waiting in line for over an hour, not even moving to get into this festival Sunday. And it turns out that people were just waiting in a line that was non-existent. So they were just standing.
Oh wow, I'd be so pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really rough. Um, that was one of the concerns I read from people was just they needed more staff to kind of like
Guide
tell people
people.
where to go and like drink lines and merch. Well, drink lines I heard were good, but food and merch were like hour plus, which is kind of like not how you want to spend your 8 hours that you have at this
No,
festival.
that's
You want to
bad for the
spend one of
bands
them.
too.
Yeah. So that was something I read could be improved. Also, there was like no cell service, which is kind of expected at these big things, but it was disappointing for me because I just wanted to watch videos of it and pretend I was there. And there really wasn't a ton going out unless I just was in the wrong spot. But everyone
It
seemed
might
to have
pop up the
fun.
next couple days as people
Yeah.
get home and upload them.
Yeah. It looked like a good time. All the bands. We got to see our friend Ben from Armor for Sleep. They played. Red Jumpsuit played. Um, My Chem, Paramore, Wonder Years,
Day to remember.
Day to Remember. Their set looked good. I did see some of their set on
11 songs it looked
Reddit.
like.
It's really not bad. A lot of people, and we might have been included in this months ago when this all got announced, but 30-minute set time for a festival is pretty like par for the course.
Depending on your time slot. I feel like when a Day to Remember closed out like night one of Warp Tour a couple years ago, didn't they play like pretty much a full set?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But they didn't play, they weren't as
They weren't the headlining for
billed as
this though.
high. Yeah.
Yeah,
So like 30
that makes
minutes,
sense
you get
then.
10 songs. Like that's solid. That's about as much as you can really like ask for at something like this. So I don't think that was really a problem.
Did My Chem play Sunday? They're just supposed to be Saturday.
No, they played Sunday.
Let's see how long this
Um,
one was.
I didn't hear much about their set. I did hear a decent amount of people just left after Paramore, which I thought was interesting.
That is interesting because I think didn't My Chem take the stage in like the I'm Not Okay get up?
Possibly. I really didn't see much from them.
13 songs, 14 songs.
All right. Probably a lot of Danger Days.
Very
Yeah.
Halloween like closers. They got Vampires Will Never Hurt You and Vampire Money as their
Oh,
encore.
nice. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm sure there was just a ton of eyeliner out there in Vegas, Dr. Scholl's insoles inside of vans.
A lot of people that aren't okay.
Yes. I just hope those Saturday people were able to at least like kind of have some fun because that just sucks. But I'm glad the festival went off well, other than that, because I want festivals like this to keep happening. So it's in everyone's best interest for this to go well if you're a fan of this music.
And have one happen on the adjacent coast.
Yes. All right, we now welcome on friend of the pod, Mike DiBerdino. Mike, thanks for
Well,
joining.
thanks for
Good
having
to
me.
see you. So Mike, I think me and you exclusively know each other through Primus concerts.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much through our
it's
buddy
real
Golden.
close.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Look,
Yeah, yeah, you
how
got the
about the
South Park shirt
Primus?
on.
Yep, the
Nice.
South Park shirt.
Love
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
So you were at When We Were Young on Saturday.
I
R.I.P.
was there. I was there. I was there. Flew out Friday, showed up Saturday morning. I mean, you want me to just go for it? I'll just tell you
Yeah, let's
exactly what
go
happened.
for
All
it.
right, so this is what happened. So fly out Friday, show up Saturday morning. We wake up and we're like, all right, let's get there for like 9:30. There won't be in line at 9:30, like because doors are like 11.
Yeah.
So we walk all the way down about a half hour walk from where we're staying at Treasure Island, and we show up and there's about I don't know where the line started, but it looked like it went for at least 2 miles, mile and a
Holy.
half at least. It was around the entire block. So we had to go all the way down, and it was so long. Like I was afraid that we weren't even gonna be able to see Ocean play. Like I was like, there's no way we're getting all these people in here, um, to see Ocean, like one of the
Wow.
first bands that are playing. Yeah, the line
Yeah.
was insane. At 9:30, I can only imagine what time the people at the front got there. And as we're sitting there waiting in line, probably like 10 o'clock, 10:15 rolls around. Some kid just walked past us. And he just like, it's canceled. And we're like, nah, he just wants people to leave. He wants to get
Yeah,
closer
yeah.
to the
He's fucking
line or
around.
whatever. Yeah, just messing around. And then all of a sudden another person was like, hey, it's canceled. And now people are like, check Instagram. You just hear people online, check Instagram, check Instagram.
Oh my God.
And we check Instagram, and there it is, the notice saying, yeah, the show's been canceled. And everyone in that line was just like in pure shock. And we're just like, are you kidding? Like, what do we do? We didn't believe it for so long. We stayed in line for like
Yeah.
an extra half hour, I think, because like everyone was just like, do we actually leave?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
are they gonna do something? So it was a bummer. I mean, the winds did get pretty bad while we were in
yeah.
line, but yeah.
Because that same thing happened to me for a fish festival. We like had our camp set up and then it got canceled because the water on the campgrounds was like tainted from rain or something.
Oh yeah, was that up
And
at the raceway?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
was it was like the same thing, like the first person tells you and you're like, nah, fuck you. Like you're just messing around.
Dude, that's
And then
exactly what we thought.
you go through like all the stages of grief. Like you
Oh my
have
God.
denial, you have
My buddy
acceptance,
I was with,
sadness.
yeah, my buddy we were with on our way back, walking back to the hotel. He's like, I'm going through the 5 stages of grief right now. And like, it was like, oh man, it was dead on. Exactly. And like, we're walking back and we're seeing people still walking towards the festival. So we're just like, it's canceled. And some people were like, I know, and like getting mad at you.
Oh
And we're like,
man.
whoa, okay, chill. And other people would just stop and be like, what? And like, it's canceled. And we just kept walking.
Uh,
So we walked back to our hotel and we're like, there's only the one thing to do now. We're in Vegas. Let's drink. So it was like
yeah.
10:30 in the morning. We walked bellied up to the bar and started pounding some shots. And then this couple next to us, they're like, oh, we're just trying to get some water. I was like, oh yeah, I'll get you some waters. And they're like, yeah, we just need some waters for the festival.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
oh, the festival. I was like, no, it's canceled. And they didn't know yet. They were still at the
Ah,
hotel. And she went white as a ghost. White as a ghost. And she's like, what are you talking about? I threw out my phone. I showed her the thing. I was like, it's canceled. So
oh
that's
my
where like
God.
this is where the story, like everything gets really interesting, kind of. Um, I ended up talking to that girl. She told me about a Facebook group that's run by some admin. Like it has nothing to do with the festival, from what I know. So we exchanged numbers. I was like, if you know of any shows that happen, let me know. And I joined this Facebook group she tells me about. And now at this point, the admin already set up like a post with like a lot of bands listed and like where the pop-up shows are gonna happen. So nothing happened yet, and like I want to see Yaka and Trio, and I want to see Thursday. Those are
H-
the two bands.
How early in the day is this?
Oh God,
Is it like
like
still like
11,
12? Yeah.
yeah, like
All right.
11 in the morning.
So rumors
About
of shows were popping up like right away.
instantly, people were
That's
like,
awesome.
oh yeah, instantly, because like the bands I think they knew. So like rumors are happening almost immediately. Um, And then we go back up to our rooms, like, what the hell we want to do for the day. So we're like, let's go to Fremont. Let's go to Old Vegas. So we go to Fremont, spend the whole day out there. Uh, sorry, my cat's going nuts.
They had like a
go,
DJ over there, right? Like playing emo tunes and
yeah, I
stuff.
think they have like 2 stages of Fremont. They had some bands playing. They had a DJ going for a while. We missed that DJ. Oh my
He's
God.
on the other side now.
Yeah. We missed that DJ, but that was all right. And then So like I said, we were drinking all day and we met this guy. His name was ended up being Andrew, and he hung out with us all day. We were like in line for a drink, bought us the first drink. Um, he spent the whole day with us. He was by himself. And then from there, that's when things were just like, all right, where are these shows happening? Where are these shows happening? So I heard rumor of well, I asked the Facebook group, I was like, let me know of any Alkaline Trio, let me know of any Thursday. And someone got back to me. He was like, no Thursday, they're not playing at all. I
Oh,
was like, oh
liars.
shit. So I had no idea. So then later on down the line we go and we hear Anthony Green. He posted that he's gonna be playing, and we're like, oh, where? Oh my God, Fremont Street. We're standing like 100 feet from this venue. Like, let's go. By the time we got there, there was already like 400 people, 500 people
Oh
lined
my
up on the
God.
door, and there was like a 350 person venue. We didn't even really know who was playing, and
Yeah,
then
you just
we
want
like
to see live music.
yeah,
Like,
we heard Anthony Green, and then by the time we got there, I was like, "Oh, it's Thursday." I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" It was Thursday. It was Census Fail and Bayside. We are like,
yeah,
"That's the show to be at right now,"
yeah.
because no one else has posted anything. So while we're in line there, the kid we were with, some guy was walking by, and he's like, "Hey, that guy looks familiar." And he looks at him and goes, "You look familiar." They end up talking. He was an East Coast promoter of hardcore bands for a long time, so he gives us like wind of Glassjaw might be playing at a venue like in Fremont Street. So we're like, oh, that could be an option. But then someone's like, Bring Me the Horizon's playing, and they're doing tickets through Ticketmaster, so it's not just a first come first serve.
Oh, so that's like
I
good
was
and
like,
bad.
yeah. So I was just like, all right, this is the only chance we have of seeing a show at this point, because we literally all day I was just on my phone checking this post, checking, where's this? Because if you weren't at the pop up show, like if you weren't within
Yeah,
walking distance of 5 minutes, you weren't making like there's no way you're making it.
yeah. Because I saw Armor for Sleep posted one with Hawthorne Heights, and I think Red
Yep.
Jumpsuit Apparatus
Right.
pretty
That's what I was.
early.
Yep.
And they followed
Early.
up. They're like, we let everyone in we could, but like this shit
Yeah.
got mobbed.
I think they played at a barbecue joint.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
ended up
rad.
leaving the group after the day. Yeah, like they were playing at a barbecue joint. Someone played at House of Blues. I can't remember.
I think All American Rejects might have did
That was
something.
what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. That was All American
And then
Rejects.
I heard State Champs tried to do something and wound up just doing like a meet and greet.
Yeah,
'Cause they
so did
couldn't,
Kitty.
like, yeah.
Kitty did a meet and greet as well, which I wish they actually did a show, because I was gonna go see Kitty over at My Chemical Romance. That's a show anyway. But
I don't know Kitty.
oh, you
Gotta
know
check 'em out.
Kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, go listen to the song Practice, you know.
Okay.
I promise you. And then so well, all right, let's get Bring Me Horizon tickets. I called the venue. I called Palms, and I was like, "Is it true?" Well, the rumors, because there's rumors spreading it.
Yeah.
I've never seen such camaraderie at like anywhere you went in Vegas, Strip, Old Vegas. Everyone was there for the concert. You know
Yeah,
what
you
I
could
mean?
probably just tell.
Oh,
by
you can
looking at
just
people,
tell, and
yeah.
like everyone's just trying to help everyone everywhere. Like, hey, give me your number. Hey, like this is what I heard. This is what I've heard. This, what did you hear? It was crazy to see, actually, because it went on all day long until like, oh, I'm in the show. So I called the Palms. They're like, yep, it's happening.
This is Bring Me Horizon.
Yeah, this is for
Yeah,
Bring Me
okay.
Horizon, and someone told me it was Bring Me Horizon, A Day to Remember.
Oh,
So I didn't even know who was playing. So I knew it was Bring Me Horizon, and I heard A Day to Remember. Ended up not being A Day to Remember, but I didn't even find that out until I got to the show. I just knew it was Bring Me Horizon. So I bought the ticket. Well, no. I was on Ticketmaster app, refreshing.
Yeah.
5:30, I think it was 6:30. Tickets were 6:30. Nothing. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's like almost 7 o'clock now. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But then I went to the website, and then from there was a link to buy tickets. I was like, so now I'm on Ticketmaster, and I'm trying to buy tickets. Nothing. Cancel. Like, gone. Eventually, I got lucky, and I found 4 tickets, like primo bottom section, not GA, but like bottom seats.
Yeah, at this point, you're not being picky.
No, I was clicking on any section, just like, give me 4 tickets, because it was either $50 or $97. That's what I saw for tickets. So I didn't even care. I was just like, whatever comes up, comes up.
Yeah, that's a couple drinks at this point in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, whatever. I ended up buying. I scored 4 tickets, and we were like, let's get out of here. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So we finally made it there, and we stood in line for like almost 2 hours at the Palms, waiting to get in, because people were trying to get tickets at the box office. I heard rumors that you have bought the ticket, but then you have to go to the box office and redeem your ticket for the ticket. And I was like, get out of here. Like, what?
Yeah.
So that ended up being false.
All right, that's good.
Yeah, but like I said, people. I talked to one kid the next day who went to the show, and he stood in line for that Bring Me the Horizon for 5 hours.
God damn. And
Yeah,
without
man.
tickets or with tickets?
With tickets because he ended up
Wow.
going. But that's how it was like a mess, but it was like fairly organized from like
Yeah, like
putting
all
on
things
they're putting on a
considered.
full blown show at
Yeah.
a real venue in a casino like within hours. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
Bring Me Horizon had their full setup. They had full visuals. It was like
Wow.
yeah, and so did all the other bands. Knock Loose, and then Landon Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
You got in for everyone then?
yeah,
That's
we got it
good.
for everyone. Yeah, like everyone was in by the time like the first band started. Like people were in. It was good.
Were they all
Uh
talking about like all the craziness behind it, or did they just kind of like rip through the
yeah,
songs?
some people did. Like they were just like pumped that they were able to play a show that day. Like
Yeah.
Knock Loose was just pumped. They brought it. Knock Loose was insane.
Yeah. They're
The
wild.
first time I ever saw them, yeah, they were wild indeed. So that was a good show. And Bring Me the Horizon killed it like always. So
That's great.
yeah, it was a wild trip, man. Like that was like the longest day ever, but it was like kind of fun.
Yeah.
Even though it
Right.
sucked that we
Like,
didn't get in.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was an adventure. You got like an interesting story out of it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you probably would have rather just went to the festival, but
100%. But like I heard stories this kid came from China or Japan
wow.
that I was talking to that stood for 5 hours. His friend came from like Japan or something, spent $7,000, came, canceled, and flew right back home the next day.
Wow.
Yeah. Dude,
So did
like
you try for Sunday tickets at all, or was that just
no,
not?
by the time like one, I'm just like bummed, just like I
Yeah.
don't want to go Sunday. And the way people were talking, they were either sold out or like 800, 900
Yeah,
bucks. And I was
I've
just
seen
like,
that.
this not even worth it.
Wow.
So
So
we're just
how long did you plan to go to this, or was it kind of like a
well
last
over a
minute thing?
year.
Okay, so you
yeah,
got
like
it right away.
I bought the tickets when they went on sale, like the pre-sale on sale tickets. I was lucky enough to get in. I know a lot of people like couldn't get in
Yeah.
when it launched. And I've just bought 4 tickets. I was like, I'll figure out who wants to
Yeah.
go. I'll just buy 4.
I know that
and-
life.
yeah, so I did that and found people to go. So yeah, so like we were planning for over a year, and I was like super pumped to get in there because like I still have never seen Thursday, and I'm like so upset about it.
I know it's crazy, right? Especially since
Yeah.
we're like Jersey guys. Like
I know, right? And yeah, and you'd think, how many times they've been to Starland. Yeah, exactly. So, but it was absolutely insane. But everyone was really friendly. Like they're lucky that they didn't do that like at like 9 o'clock at night when everyone was like wasted drunk and told
Yeah.
people that show was
They would
canceled.
have tore the fences down.
Dude, they would have jumped the wall. There was a wall behind us. I was like, I don't know about that. I was like, people took it pretty well in my eyes. They just like, it was just like, oh, that sucks, and like everyone just went their separate ways.
Yeah. There's not much else you can do except like
Yeah,
complain to your friends and try and find another show and drink.
exactly. And the whole time we were just like, hey, at least we're like stranded in Vegas and not like like an island like
Yeah.
Firefest. So
Yeah.
like at least there's like everything to do here. So and like I said, those pop-up shows came up so fast and it was good.
Yeah.
That's
Nice
good.
work actually getting into one because
Yeah, like it took all day. Like it took all day. We knocked till
Yeah.
6:30, 7 o'clock at night, and then we're like, let's go. Like we got tickets. Like
We did
by
it.
that time I like once I had the ticket, I was so amped. And then like when I was standing in line, I was so amped, but I was just like, I still don't know if this show's gonna happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? No one's walking around. The only people that have walked around are like the guys like, if you don't have tickets, just leave. If you don't have tickets, just leave. You're not getting tickets. And I was like, I have a ticket. And I was like, but I'm not in yet, so I'm not happy until I'm like in
Yeah.
those doors.
Yeah. I'm
and
ready
so
to
it
be
was
heard
like,
again.
yeah, dude. So it was sick though. But the experience was pretty weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine with that much planning and just
Yeah.
it's a rush. I bet it still doesn't feel completely real.
Honestly, it didn't feel real like all day. It was just like I think we're like still in shock because like you're like so excited for it, and the fact that you knew Sunday was going to
Yeah.
happen and you couldn't get in because you can't let all those
Yeah.
people from Saturday and Sunday. That would be madness.
Yeah.
Literally like wouldn't be able to fit those people. So it was
I heard on Sunday that line you were talking about was like a pointless line. Like people just saw people standing and stood, and if you just walked to the front, you could go in.
really
Yeah. Yeah, because I was just
Oh.
following on social media all day because I wasn't there, but I just wanted to like be as close as I could anyway.
right. Yeah.
And people
Oh,
were posting,
wow.
they're like, "Don't wait in the line. It's not a line."
That's so weird. Oh, like I said,
Yeah.
I don't even know where that line started. I don't know how it started. I don't know where it went. We just followed it, and I mean, it was canceled, so
Doesn't
we didn't have
matter.
to worry about it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, the winds were like as we were walking back, the like gusts started coming.
Yeah,
So we
you're
were
like, it
like,
better be windy at this
yeah,
point. 'Cause like,
exactly. But like we were like so mad all day. We like stayed inside for a while. Then we went to Old Vegas, and that's pretty much like inside. So we didn't really
yeah.
experience the heavy winds.
Yeah, I saw a
Um,
few. There's this guy, the OC sellout. I don't know if you know of him, but
no.
he's just like goes to a lot of shows and posts online. But he was like, "There's no wind. This is bullshit," like freaking out all day. And
No,
people would
there
comment,
was
and
a
there's like,
wind.
"There's wind." He's like, "I know. I'm just mad."
Yeah. No, there was definitely wind and like, I mean, I get it. You can't have people in that. God forbid, like a
Yeah,
light or a rig falls down to the
yeah.
ground. Like you
We
get
were
yourself
talking
some
about
trouble.
there's that video of like an Indiana State Fair festival from like 2011, and the stage blows down, like a whole stage.
Oh yeah,
It's
like
it's
dude,
crazy. You
and
can't
with
have
like
that. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
no, and with like how many people I saw on the Sunday show, like on social media, oh my, it would have been mayhem.
yeah,
Hell, even like a loose beer can actually like go hit you at 60 miles an hour, you'd be
yeah.
done.
Seriously.
So, and I get it. And I heard the cities shut it down, and they do that a lot. So,
Yeah,
yeah, it is what it is. I don't know, like,
yeah. So
and
you,
like there's a lot of people like, oh, I told you so. It wasn't gonna happen. It
oh
wasn't
my
gonna happen.
God.
And it's like, no, it was gonna happen. Like when we were in line, they were sound checking. You can see the
Yeah, it's not like the
stages and
bands
like,
weren't there. Like
yeah,
this.
exactly. So like it was just wind. That's strictly it. It was weather related,
Yeah.
and that was it.
So
So
would you go again?
I checked out the last next year's lineup. I probably won't go to next year's, but like maybe it'll again down the line. It just looks expensive. And also my third time in
Yeah,
Vegas, so like I need to go somewhere else.
yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, but I would if the lineup was right. I'm actually kind of bummed. This upcoming Saturday added Under Oath and they added Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh
And
damn.
those were two bands I kept telling everyone. I was like, how is Death Cab for Cutie and
Yeah,
Under Oath
right.
not on the first one? I kept saying that over and over, and here they are playing on next Saturday. So I was like, oh well, that's my luck.
Yeah, they just put
So
out that new album too. It's pretty
yeah,
good.
yep. My buddy just saw that show. I missed it, but
Yeah, it's wild. They're running it back this weekend,
yep,
but the
both
demand's there.
days,
So like, it's a good thing for music that this festival goes well. So like, the
absolutely.
people rooting for it to fail like are idiots.
Yeah, forget them.
Yeah,
Because they hear Firefest and they hear a big festival like
yeah,
that and like the bands like that line up and they're just like there's no way this is happening, but it happened 100%.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
I don't know.
I'm glad you were able to make something of the trip anyway. Sounded
Yeah,
like a good time, all
it
things
was a good
considered.
time all in
Yeah,
all. It was Vegas. It was a good time. I
cool.
still saw some shows and stuff. So, yeah, that was my experience.
Wild. Thank you
Yeah, man.
for talking about it.
No
It was cool to
problem.
hear
Man,
firsthand, you know.
yeah, any other questions? Like trying to think of like anything else that happened, but
Now
I
you
think
got any other shows coming up, or was that kind of like end of the season bang?
yeah, that's end of the season. I think for me right now, I have nothing. Wait, no, I do have something booked. No, I don't.
No.
No, I was thinking the Red Hot Chili Pepper show, but that already happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
at that
Oh, you were there?
MetLife. Yeah.
Yep, I was at that one.
So
Yeah, I don't
good.
think. Yeah, I know Between the Buried and Me's playing, but I'm gonna miss that one. So yeah, I got nothing booked at the moment.
Nice. Yeah, take it easy for a little and then I'm sure.
Yeah, wait for my
Yeah.
refund to come back.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's
that's a good thing to bring up.
yeah. I mean,
It's
that's what everyone was
happening.
talking about. It's like, yeah, and I was just like, well, at least I get 400, 450 back. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna put it right back in the Las Vegas, so.
Yeah, it's
But
good they
yeah,
didn't send it back too fast.
yeah, right. So at least I'll get that and make the money back. But you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. If it
Yeah.
happens again, they need to put something like this on the East Coast.
Yeah. They're working on it. They announced that Jason Festival, which is
Yes, that's the
happening Memorial
one in
Day.
AC.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then Bamboozle's been hyping stuff up.
Oh
They
really?
said we'll get a lineup before Black Friday. So
Oh really?
yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to make that Memorial show. We
Yeah,
usually
it's
do a
I'm
trip,
gonna
but
wait and see
it's
what
a
this
pretty sweet
Bamboozle
lineup
thing
though. I
is.
saw it and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, right.
So,
Like Pups on there, and I love the front bottoms. Blink, obviously.
right.
Thursdays at that. On
Yeah,
the
that's I
Avalanche.
saw it and I was like, ooh. I was
I
like,
know.
do I get to see him finally? But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
cool.
crazy.
Well, good luck with any future shows, and thanks for coming on.
No problem, man. Anytime. It's good talking to you.
Yeah, you too, and I'll see you around. Maybe we'll
Sounds
find a
good.
show to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay in touch.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Later,
All right,
man.
Later. Should we just talk about that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, Adjacent Fest got announced.
We
as
definitely did not
discussed.
know the lineup on last week's show. We had zero clue
Zero
all the
clue.
bands that were playing the show.
We should have just leaked it. That would have been awesome.
But now we stayed true to our story, so hopefully we get some more
yeah,
tips
it
every now
was
and then.
it's a crazy lineup. So for those who haven't seen it yet, it just came out today. I'll just read off some. I mean, the top 4 are Blink-182, Paramore, Bleachers, Turnstile, Coheed and Cambria, Japanese Breakfast. Do you know Japanese Breakfast? Because I don't
They're
recognize
indie,
that
yeah,
name.
or she's
She's
indie, I believe.
Okay. And then Bleachers we'll get to later because this guy in Bleachers, Jack Antonoff, he like wrote this entire Taylor Swift album with her.
Yep. And
Pretty
he was in
crazy.
Fun too.
It's crazy. Like I just love that when people are just like killer songwriters. They have their own band and then they just do all this stuff on the side. We'll get to that. More on this lineup. Jimmy Eat World, the Front Bottoms, Beach Bunny, Pup, Knock Loose, Jeff Rosenstock, Thursday, Motion City Soundtrack, Starting Line, Water Parks, Ellis Dunes, The Movie Life, Mannequin Pussy, everyone's favorite band,
They are pretty awesome.
Drug Church, Linda Linda's, I'm the Avalanche, Pink Shift, Wheatus. I feel like
Yep.
everyone knows Wheatus, and I
Teenage
should know
Dirtbag.
Wheatus, but okay, yeah, there it is. Thank
Meet me
you.
at the Altars there too.
Yeah. I'm
The
looking
next
at
big pop punk band.
I'm looking at the picture I was sent last week, actually. So hopefully that is true to what it wound up being, because I just read off the wrong list.
No,
Um,
I'm not like 99% sure the image they put on like, Instagram and everything today is the exact same picture that we had.
yeah, yeah. Some bands are in different spots, so I don't know. But everyone I just read seems to still be on it, so that's good. Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. It's Memorial Day weekend in Atlantic City. Ah,
And then you see the Ticketmaster aspect of it.
people, it's like people never went. I mean, I'm glad people are complaining about this, but this isn't a new problem. Like, did all these Blink fans, like, is this their first time buying tickets that everyone's so like worked up all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Because every comment on this lineup is just like, oh, you're selling through Ticketmaster, and they're all mad, which I mean, good. Let's rebel against Ticketmaster, but this isn't something new.
No.
But yeah, so the early bird tickets are like 250
Is
for
that
the
what we
weekend.
was that the bar we set last week? Was 250?
Yeah, I think that's about what I expected. And then when you factor in fees, like probably looking at 300 or so.
Oof, that's
Right?
without fees. I thought it was 250 with fees.
It just says 250 on the website, and that's like tier 1 for early bird, and then it says like tier 2 and it's 350. But I'm wondering if I'm just reading it wrong and those are like VIP tickets, or if they're just going to jack it up $100 after like the first round.
I think they're trying to get people to commit.
Yeah,
So they are trying to get people to buy the 250 on Thursday.
which they want people to commit because there's another festival of the same exact demographic happening the same month.
Yeah,
Bamboozle.
and they're in the same location too. Isn't
Yeah.
it AC? Or is
Yeah.
it Asbury?
Different parts of AC, because Bamboozle is at Baderfield, and I think this is on the beach where Fish always plays, and where Warp was. But it's an amazing lineup. There's easily 10 bands that I know like all their songs. Like that doesn't
Each
happen
day.
often.
Yeah.
It's a killer lineup. So gonna see how it goes. I don't know. It sucks, but it's a reality, I guess, now that we're like adults and have some responsibilities. But like I gotta just be a little more choosy with my concerts this year.
Yeah.
And part of what I'm thinking for this is like a lot of these bands we can just see at Starland for like $40. Like it's not like I don't get to see the Front Bottoms, or like Thursday just played Starland. Starting Line comes around. I'm the
Movie
Avalanche
Life,
is gonna
yeah.
play with Midtown. Like these aren't, you're paying premier prices to like see Blink, and then like a killer undercard.
Yeah. And I get Paramore hasn't toured in a while either, but still, like the two of them aren't. That sounds mean to say they're not worth $250, but you know what I mean.
It's all relevant. Like, I mean, hot take. If money was an issue, I would go to this in a heartbeat. Like
Yeah.
that's, and I want to go to it, and I couldn't. I could barely come up with a lineup I like more myself. So like, they nailed it, and I'm really happy this is a thing. Just don't know for sure that I'm gonna go, and I don't want to commit before seeing Bamboozle.
That's what I was going to bring up next. Because I kind of wish they put them both out, but they're probably purposely not doing that because they want people to like commit to adjacent. And then when they see Bamboozle, they figure people just go to both
Yeah,
instead of. But if they were out beforehand, they know people would choose one or the other.
yeah, because Bamboozle posted today on Instagram a screenshot of dictionary.com, and it's just the definition of adjacent. And people are like, "Are you throwing shade here?" And they put a little, they used it in a sentence that they photoshopped in. Bamboozle Festival's 20th anniversary celebration is happening at Bader Field in Atlantic City, adjacent to the beach. So do you think
For
this
the
is
same
shade?
promoter.
I don't know. I can't decide if it's shade or if they're just like,
Because they tweeted out before, they think there's like good things come to those that wait or something like that.
oh, yeah, they,
But I'm not sure if that's shade or not. I hope it is, but and that they're not in cahoots with each other, but I feel like they are in cahoots.
they had a comment on this Instagram post that said, "Our lineup is unlike anything that's happened or that has been announced. That's all I can say." Which, like, who knows?
How
Who
can it
knows?
be that different though?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Uh,
good things come to those who wait. What's the tweet?
yeah. And then I just got this news literally like as we were talking. Um, there's an account called the John D Official out of Atlantic City. Bamboozle 2023 ticketing. Friday, November 25th, pre-sale weekend with merch. December 16th, weekend price. Friday, January 13th, another single days are going out. Final announcement. And then here's where it gets interesting. We will be using NFT ticketing, allowing for lower prices and fees. There will be 3 announcements, continuing the past traditions. At each announcement, the prices will jump, as will the lineup. Our announcement will continue the traditions of our reveals. The lineup is stacked from top to bottom. There will not be lines of artists you don't know. Instead, we will honor Warhol with a unique approach to announcement and ad mats. Some of the fans will reveal Bamboozle 2023 artists. We will be releasing single day tickets for your convenience. Daily lineups Friday the 13th. So the first tier, you're gonna have the smallest amount of the lineup. The second tier, you're gonna have more. Third tier, you're gonna have more. They're not doing it through Ticketmaster, and they're trying to get the fans involved. So I think it sounds pretty cool,
I mean, I like the sound of that better than adjacent.
which could just potentially be another cash grab. I mean, it's all cash grabs,
Yeah, they have the extra day they're working with
but
Bamboozle.
since I am not gonna just blindly go to both, unless I can like pull off press passes, I am gonna wait and see what Bamboozle offers.
I think I'm gonna do the same. Are you gonna do? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but would you do all 3 days, or would you look at the single days for Bamboozle?
Uh, I think I would do all 3.
That's what I was thinking.
Go big or go home.
Especially if like we weren't to do adjacent, I
Yeah,
want to go big for at least one of them.
yeah. And
Which
like
I feel like the cons of adjacent are longer than the pros.
the most exciting 2 things on adjacent for me were like Pup and the front bottoms. And
And Coheed for me because I've never seen them live
yeah,
before.
and
But
we
they
could
might be at Bamboozle.
true. And we could definitely
Coheed.
see they all play Starland.
Yeah.
So it's
They have
not
a
like
live album from Starland, Coheed. So
yeah. Yeah. So just strategy, if you're out there and you got great job, no bills, and you want to do both, like I would do it in a second. But if you have to choose, just be careful and choose and commit to it. I don't know. I don't know what I would suggest because that 250 price point for adjacent to get in early is nice. But you're rolling the dice against the unknown of Bamboozle. And like Bamboozle festivals made me the music fan I am today.
Yep.
Like I'm not sitting here talking to you without Bamboozle.
No,
So
I'm aligned with you there.
so I'm gonna stay loyal if I have to pick one because there's just too much history with that clown.
Sorry, are you then okay not seeing Blink on this tour?
Uh I'm okay not seeing them. It doesn't mean I'm happy about it. And it doesn't mean I'm definitely saying right now like it's not happening. But if it doesn't happen, I'm okay with it. I just want the album to be good. I think I care
That's
more
all I
about
want at
that.
this point.
And who knows, when these things get closer, ticket prices might drop. You might have a friend, hey, like my friend can't go. You want to come? Like nothing's set in stone. So I hope I get to see them, but trying to be a more responsible adult.
It's not fun getting older.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting. It's lots of exciting things. Like too many good music festivals nearby is a problem that I will
Yeah.
happily take on.
Definitely not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I do wish they spaced these out and didn't have them in the same month. That's a little. If it is like the same promoter, like you have to think like, well, what are you thinking? Like, why not just have one Labor Day weekend and leave one in May?
True. Just cap both ends of summer. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
We should work for them.
Please hire us. Yeah, so we'll see. We will see. Um we had some new music this week.
We did.
Lots of new
Which one do you
music.
want to start with?
I can't decide. Do you have one or should we just flip a pick?
Let's flip.
All right. This side of the pick, we'll do Arctic Monkeys. The other side of the pick, we'll do Taylor. Taylor.
All right.
All right. Midnights.
I think I'll let you start because this was pretty much your first time
Midnights.
getting caught in the undertow.
This is the first Taylor Swift album I've listened to front to back. And I listened to it like 6 times in a row yesterday. I could not turn it off. It was, I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is, and we're gonna talk
She
about
knows what
that.
she's doing.
Yeah. Her and what
Mr.
did I
Jack.
say? Yeah. Has he
Jack
worked with
Antonoff.
does he work with her all the time? Is this
Not all the time, but
No.
I'm pretty sure they frequently work together.
yeah. Because I just think it's cool how a lot of these songs are just the two of them. Because with these big artists, I don't know. I always just expect there's going to be like a team of people, and that wasn't. I mean, I'm sure she has a team. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. Performed, written, and produced by. Well, performed is just Taylor, but written and produced by Taylor Swift, Jack Antonoff. That's it. That's pretty rad. My favorite song is Vigilante Shit. Easily. That song is
It's a good
so
one.
fucking cool. It is such a vibe. Oh my god. What is it? I've been dressed I don't dress for men. I don't dress for men. Lately I've been dressing for revenge. It just has like this like low driving bass beat.
What was
And
it?
then
Don't
like
get sad, get revenge is part of it too, right?
yeah. And the way they like double track the vocals, they do it a lot on this album where like her voice just has like this very faint like echo to it. You could tell they like tracked it a few times. It's really cool. Like the production is really top notch. What else? Like while he was doing lines and crossing all of mine. someone told his white collar crimes to the FBI. Like it's her just like narking on like all these people who like did her dirty.
And she's
Um,
like an awesome songwriter while doing it.
yes, dude. The chorus to Lavender Haze, the first track,
That's one of my favorites.
so catchy, so catchy. I feel lavender haze creeping up, and then the way like, damned if I do give a like, just like
It reels you in immediately.
it's yeah, like you know the words to this like on the first listen. By the second chorus, you're like at least attempting to sing along.
Yep.
It's just got such a good melody to it, and like the back and forth on her vocals. Like just it's not just like the same pattern is what I'm trying to say for every line. Like the flows change up and it's really good songwriting. Like I don't know why I'm surprised. It's she's would you say she's the biggest pop star like alive right now?
Far and away, I think, because
Or like
literally anytime she
performing,
puts
I
something
guess.
out, she shatters like Spotify records.
I
And I think like vinyl sales too. It's just and she goes to the top and she stays there for a really long time.
am I wrong or did she take all her stuff off Spotify at one point?
She
Or threatened
did, or she
to?
refused to like put it on there. I think
But it's on here.
it now it's all on there.
All right, so I guess
But she had a big dispute with her former label, and that's why she's like in the process of re-recording every single one of her albums, so she can get the masters on those.
yeah.
Because
That's
like she can't
got
get the original masters, so she's like, "All right, well, fuck you. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna remake it, and then it'll be mine."
yeah. Because that's what who was I what's his name? Pat not not Pat Finnerty. That's the other guy. Finn McKenty, the music guy I talk about like every episode now. But he did an episode today on how Spotify pays out.
And it's
And like
probably makes you want to delete Spotify, right?
it, it doesn't because the problem is not with Spotify, it's with the labels. Because these artists they get advances for their records and then they have to pay back the $1 million they got before they start seeing money. So it's not that Spotify's not paying. They're just paying it to the labels. And if the labels aren't paying their artists because of the shitty deals their artists made, like it's not necessarily on Spotify. But Spotify can't really say this because they need like Universal Music Group to have their artists on their platform.
Yeah, they needed like. I feel like there's
Go watch Finn McKenty, by the way, because I'm
okay,
just like parroting what he said. So just want to make sure I like give a fair shout out. He's on YouTube
but I feel like there's
and really interesting.
mostly. I can't really think of too many people that aren't on Spotify now, so I get like how they have to kind of play both sides, other than like the whole like artist that left because of Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
like Neil
Or
Young
Neil
and
Young.
yep, who was the other one?
uh
Really famous singer from the 70s that I'm blanking on.
uh
Female singer.
uh it can only be Cher. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, pretty much everyone's on it at this point. Like it was a big deal when the Beatles got on it. Tool finally came around. Like it's just like the world we live in. But
Joni Mitchell.
there it is. But yeah, back to Midnight's. Just a really good album. I like every song. There's some songs like that feel more like almost just like a guitar and singing song. I forget which one exactly. Maybe Antihero. It's a pretty good like emo song. Midnights become afternoons. She's just like, it's me, I'm the problem, it's me. Like it's very like emo lyrics.
Maroon too. Like I think that one might be my favorite. It keeps changing. Like with
Yeah.
each listen it changes, but Maroon was one that you know how I like to hit repeat when I hear like songs. I really like
Yes.
when I first listened to an album, like Lavender Haze and Maroon. I spent like a good for the first hour of my listen was on those two songs.
Maroon's another good one. Listen with headphones and like during the chorus, pay attention to like her vocals and like the
They're like
tracking. Cause
hushed, aren't they? Like some of them in the background.
yeah, just like the layers to her vocals
Yeah.
are just super cool. Um,
This is really well produced.
yeah. Midnight Rain was another really well produced one. Yeah, it's just
The Lana Del Rey feature was pretty cool.
yeah. Snow on the beach. Yeah, I mean, all these songs have like 30 million plus listens. It
Yeah,
hasn't
already.
even been a week.
It's been 5 days.
Amazing. And then she put out Midnight's 3 a.m. edition, which just has like a bunch of extra tracks.
I haven't listened to those yet though.
I did it once, but I don't know. I like to just know that I have like the album as they intended it and just listen to that.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. Especially when we like see monsters like the Red Hot Chili Peppers albums where they're an hour and 20.
Yeah,
44 minutes is easier to digest than
exactly.
69 minutes.
Hey ho.
Nice.
What was the one song? It might have been Anti-Hero, where she's like, "Everyone is a sexy baby, and I'm a monster on the hill."
I think it is. Yeah.
What is that? What is that line? Like, I see what she's going for, but I don't know. Like, that's how she chose to get that analogy across. It's just
It was
just
definitely a
cracks me up
choice she
every
made
time.
there.
Oh yeah. And then I can't help but think like, oh, so that was another thing on when I listened to this on my phone, there was like a video of her at the top of the album, which I've never seen before, like any artist do. But she's like, "Hi, these are the 5 things that kept me up at night while recording the album." Then she says, "Self-loathing, fantasizing about revenge, wondering what might have been, falling in love, falling apart." And
Adds
that's
up.
it. Yeah, it adds up. I can't help
Lays
but
that on pretty thick throughout the album. So
oh yeah. Yeah, there's so much like revenge and like karma themes. And every time like the karma song, I'm like, is she talking about Kanye? But she's probably like just talking about like generally. I feel like she's not giving him that much attention at this
not
point.
anymore.
Maybe we could touch on him when we get to news at the end, but like that's just so much. Shit
We
with
don't
him.
have to.
Yeah, we don't have to. Adidas gave him the boot though today.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
And then like
That's
Aaron
something.
Donald left his like sporting agency.
Wow. Yeah, and a few festivals were like, yeah, we don't want to align ourselves with him, and he's too unpredictable to even like book, which is so true. Like even
Yeah.
before
all this.
all this, yeah, it's like, why would you like hype your festival around someone that might just have a bad day and decide not to show up? Anyway, sorry, we didn't mean to interrupt, Taylor.
We played that really well there.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought this album might have been a chore, and I couldn't have been more wrong.
I've tried for the longest time to be too cool for her music, but I gave in when she put out Evermore last year because she worked with Bon Iver and the National.
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
well, I can't not listen to this. And then I couldn't stop listening to Evermore for like months. And she
So-
put out Folklore later.
I guess I
But-
should listen to like, I mean, I don't know that I'm gonna go through all her albums, but if I was to listen to another one, is like Red, like that's like the album, right? So I feel like I always hear everyone talk about
If you want like a more indie her, I'd definitely go with Folklore. Like I
Folklore.
love that. It's like not her typical upbeat like pop song.
Okay, because
music.
that is one thing I thought was missing from this that I expected, is how I just thought her music was I thought there was more like singer songwriter, acoustic guitar, piano.
I'll go
And-
go with Folklore then.
Okay, yeah, because I just remember like when my sister would listen to her years ago and like the Romeo and Juliet song and like all that.
That's when she first broke out. Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely evolved quite a
We
bit.
should have a Taylor Swift like
We should
super
have her
fan
on
on
the
the
pod.
show. Or have her
Just
on the
gonna-
pod.
I
Imagine.
thought that's what you were gonna just throw out there casually. Oh yeah. Let me just
have like a
DM her.
super fan guide us through.
That would be cool.
Because I was thinking that like listening to like the new Bayside EP this week, I was like, we should really have someone that's really like well versed in Bayside. Just give us like a tutorial.
Isn't one of your buddies from the draft episode like
Yeah,
a big Bayside guy?
Frank would probably be good for that.
Is Frank? Was it Frank?
Yeah,
Yeah, because we'll also get to Bayside because that EP
it was
is killer.
One of the
Um,
few times where like I'm like, this wasn't long enough.
Yeah. Actually, you want to just talk about it?
That's yeah, yeah, we should kind of segued into it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
might as well.
Um, what's the first one? Strangers? What's it called? Um, all right, I didn't have my notes ready
It's
to go into Bayside.
Strangers Faces? No.
Strangest Faces.
Strangest Faces. There it is.
That song is
I
so
don't have my notes up yet either.
so good. I have seen the strangest face.
It's
I
such a good like October song too.
right. It's got like that like spookiness to it and like that kind of like
Like the creeping
waltzy
almost. Yeah.
Halloween vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. I listened to that just on repeat for like 10 minutes the other night or 10 times, but like really, really good. I just like put it on the background and almost just forgot to talk because I just want to listen to that song.
It's that good.
It's it's so good. And you could see by the play count, it's blowing the other two out of the water. And the other two are good songs, but Strangest Faces, when the guitar kicks in, kind of mirroring the vocals as the solo, like bow now 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 now. Oh man, their guitar player so good. I don't know if he's underrated or if he's just underrated to me, but
No,
he
he's
is
definitely underrated.
really good.
We talked about this on the emo draft, but like how like I feel like they're so much better live that it doesn't do their albums justice, but their albums are still good when you listen to them. But
Yeah.
live, it's just a completely different animal because you see like how much he shreds.
Yeah,
Which
that
I should probably
album
get his name, other than I just know, hey, the Bayside guitarist is good, but I can never remember his name.
it's I think it's called like Live at the Bayside.
Oh no, I mean the guitarist's name.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying their live album because I did listen to that like a month or two ago
Oh,
because we were talking
it's a
live at the
really good
social
album.
club, the Bayside Social Club. But
That's usually
go
my go-to when I listen to Bayside. Is that live album?
like go to Devotion and Desire, the last song on that, the closer on that live album, and just skip like halfway and just listen to the guitar. Like he does it on this EP too. Let me go back to it. He does it on this EP for Just Like Home at towards the end too. I think it's that one. He just shreds like the little bit of like pinch harmonics he throws in and just all like the little feel and flavors and like things he does on his guitar. He doesn't just play a solo. Like you can hear he is owning that guitar. He is in
Jack
complete
O'Shea.
control. Jack O'Shea,
Got to remember that name.
you are a legend. Like, goddamn. So good. And like you said, it'd be fun to have someone on because they have so much that it's like daunting to get into them.
That's kind of why I never deep dive. Like I feel like I only have it in me to do like one deep dive a year now. Like last year was David Bowie. This year was obviously Fish. So
It's tough to do like a real deep dive, which we'll get to with
because you have
Arctic
to
Monkeys in a
devote not
second.
to listen to anything else.
The best is when it happens organically, or
Yeah.
naturally.
It shouldn't be homework, but although I feel like this would be fun homework if we were just a deep dive Bayside.
Yeah. With Bayside, I knew their self-titled album in like '05. Then one of their band members tragically died and they put out like the saddest acoustic album you've ever heard.
Oh, that song is so good though. What's it called?
Yeah,
again?
Winter.
Yeah.
Winter. Man. That song can like
Rips
literally
your
just
heart
like
out.
make me cry
Yeah.
on demand. And then I kind of just stopped paying attention to them. Not that they deserved it or they weren't like good, because I have seen them like 7 or 8 times because they were always opening for Taking Back Sunday. They were always on festivals, and I always left like completely impressed by them. And for some reason, I just never dug in. But I want more of this Red EP.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping it goes towards a new album because they haven't put out a full length since 2019. And I don't think I listened to that one. Interrobang.
It's got a cool album cover. No, well, maybe let's listen
Hopefully I
to that
pronounced
next
that right.
week then. If we need some stuff to talk about, we can just casually dive into Bayside.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having Frank on to kind of give us and the listeners maybe a nice little roadmap.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And then we can have a Swifty on to do the same
Yeah,
eventually. Maybe that'll be like our next in addition to drafts, we'll do shows like that.
Yeah, just have experts on to help educate us.
Look at us brainstorming the show while doing the
Yeah,
show.
right. Boom. Can we talk about the Arctic Monkeys now?
Please, that's where I have my most notes. Even though Taylor Swift are just like. So that's why I feel like I didn't have too many thoughts
Yeah.
on that one. But this one, I have many thoughts.
Okay. So this is for me anyway going to be more of Arctic Monkeys general discussion. We will talk about the album, but I've been really hooked on not this album.
The one I told you about.
Yeah, the whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not is the one I've been just listening to on repeat.
It's hard to listen to this new one going from that one.
Yeah. So we can get to me praising their old stuff, but first we'll talk about the car. 37 minutes, 10 songs. No guitar. No, that's not true. There is guitar,
It
but
snuck in there. Like I didn't catch it till like my second listen,
yeah. Yes.
which I don't know if is a bad thing or not.
I've listened to this a few times. Well, you can go first, Brett, because I want to hear what you have to say before I just like meander about this album.
So first listen, I don't know if I was just in the wrong mindset because like we were preparing for an interview. So I was listening to a certain type of music to get ready for that interview. And then putting this on is like night and day. So I don't know if it was just that, but like it didn't really hit me the first time. And I wasn't really like too happy with it, especially coming from like the album that you're going to talk about in a little bit and AM, which are like their two biggest albums. But second listen to kind of grab me a little more, but it's very different from the stuff I'm used to from them because I kind of lost touch with them over the last like I guess 9 years, like because I think AM came out in like 2013. But this is like very much like a Sunday morning album. It's like very mellow. It's almost like lounge singery in a way. Like there
Yeah.
was a little bit of like David Bowie on here. I picked up Paul McCartney at parts, Elvis Costello even.
Yes. Yes.
But
I was thinking all these things.
yep.
Yep.
But I like them with guitar from that first album and like even like the catchy riff on why can I never remember the single's name
From this album?
from AM?
Oh,
It's
was
got
it
like a
like
billion listens on Spotify.
Do I Want to Know?
Do I want to know? Yeah.
Yeah.
But even like how that one's catchy. But like the first song, like there better be a mirror ball. Like it almost sounds like something that would play like over the credits of like a Bond movie. It's very like right. It's very like mellow, but like foreboding at the same time. And then like it goes into like I ain't quite where I think I am, which the guitars finally kick in here, and it's like a little funky, but it's not like those heavy riffs from like '06, which I know. I think you're going to touch on this when you talk about them because I did look at your notes on this album. Spoiler, but but it's weird. Like there was a lot I did like here, but it was very different, and I'm not sure I was in the right mindset for it. Although I think my favorite here was Body Paint. I just think like the vocals here were particularly Paul McCartney, and the guitars finally kick in and leaves you like wanting more and wondering why they didn't sprinkle this in more. Then it had like that catchy, I don't know if it was keyboard or that electronic sound that played in the beginning of it.
Yeah, like the synth or the Moog or whatever.
That was it. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just like not there's anything wrong with lounge singers, but it's just like I'm not gonna voluntarily go to that type of music unless I'm like I need like breakfast music on a Sunday that's not too crazy. I just want to relax.
Yeah, it's not necessarily what you expect from the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, but again, like I didn't listen to their last album, or I think that I don't think there was one after AM that I missed, or was there?
No.
Yeah.
No. No, because favorite, what is it? No, Tranquility. Oh yeah, it was Tranquility, then the car. And Tranquility was kind of similar.
That was where they changed their sound, I think, right?
Yes, you could kind of hear them going in this direction, and then on the car it feels like they leaned into it further.
Okay. So I think if I listened to that, this wouldn't have been as much of a shock to me.
Yeah.
But because I came back to them after all these years, it was shocking. I'm not like saying it's a bad thing either. Like this album got like rave reviews from music critics, which I kind of want to touch on towards the end of this discussion a little bit. But like obviously like the singing was great. The instrumentals that were here were very good, but it's just I feel like you have to be in the right mindset and expecting something like this to like truly enjoy it, or it might even be those ones you just have to sit on for a while until it finally clicks.
Yeah. So my one friend, shout out Tom Pass, um, he he's a big Arctic Monkeys fan. And when we used to jam in his garage before he abandoned me and moved to California, and now I have to play guitar by myself. Um,
How dare he?
I know, what a jerk. We used to cover Marty Bum off their first album.
That's a great
And
song.
great song. So that was kind of like my introduction to them, and I forgot about it until like I went back to it this week. But I texted him. I'm like, where'd the guitars go on this Arctic Monkeys album? And he said, I feel like I need to be listening stoned and slightly drunk at night and staring into space to have this album make the strongest impression. So it's kind of in line with your Sunday morning idea, which to me it's more of a morning album.
Yeah,
Um,
that's for sure.
I mentioned last week my relapse into World of Warcraft. So I've been like all weekend, I would wake up, make coffee at like 7 or 8, just like play video games and listen to music. And this album was a great album to like start the day on because it was gentler, like loungy, like you said. Um, so I enjoyed it for what it was, but it wasn't really what I expected. But I did like a bunch of research on like the history of the band just because I was curious. And
So I wanted to let you tell this. I saw you
yeah,
did
so I'll try and like
awesome research.
I'll just like kind of speed through it. But they formed in '02 and they picked up steam really fast online through like MySpace and um the online world. And they were based in North England, and they had a few EPs, Beneath the Boardwalk and 5 Minutes with the Arctic Monkeys. And they took off like really fast, and they started gaining like this huge fandom and people coming to their shows, and they would just hand these CDs out at shows. There was no like monetary incentives or anything like that. And Beneath the Boardwalk had I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, which would then go on to be their first album. And that single went
Such a
like
good song.
straight to #1 on the UK singles chart. Um, so they put out their first album, and it sells 118,500 copies on its first day alone. More than the rest of the UK top 20 records combined at the time. It goes on to sell 363,735 in the first week, surpassing previous records and making it the fastest selling debut album in UK chart history. So like these guys just blew the fuck up real hard. And then not as strong in the United States, but like they didn't care. Like there was a quote from uh Turner. Well, I don't know if that's I don't remember if that's first or last name. I should have wrote his whole name down. But there's a quote from him saying like, we're just making songs.
Alex
And
Turner.
this Alex Turner. He's like, we're just making songs and this is how they came out. Like we're not like, how are we gonna get big in the US? He's like, we don't really care. And then within like, I don't know if it was 6 months or at least within a year of putting out their first album that broke all these records, they put out another, I think it was an EP just called Who the Fuck Are the Arctic Monkeys? And the label or whoever was like repping them or the radio, they're like, we can't sell this. Like you're swearing in the title, like, and they're like, we don't care. Like we have our fans. We did this without radio. We don't need radio. Like we don't care. This is what we want to do. So we're just going to do it. We have more songs that we like. We're going to put out an album. We don't care if it's not the optimal time. So with all that in mind, I think this album kind of makes perfect sense. Like this is what they wanted to do, so they did it. They don't care. Like it's not like there's some need for this, like it's not like they put out a pop punk record to cash in on like what's trending right now. They just wanted to make this album and they made it. And they have lots of good albums. So if a couple of them are on the slower side, like I I respect it. I don't necessarily think it's my favorite album by them, but I also don't think they give a shit what I think or what anyone thinks for that matter. So I just think they have this like really cool vibe of not giving a fuck and doing what they want. And for that reason alone, I like this album more. But their first album's where it's at.
Yeah.
All that
All
to
that
say,
said,
their first album is so, so good. I don't know. I can't decide if I want to learn the guitar parts or the bass parts of this album because they're both so good. And Riot Van, holy shit. Like, what an amazing, like, tale. Like, I don't even think there's really a chorus in that.
it's just
It's,
all goodness
yeah,
all the
like,
way through.
what have you been drinking, son? You don't look old enough to me. I'm sorry, officer. Is there a certain age you're supposed to be? Because nobody told me. Like, that's awesome. I just love that. Like, the song is just like a short little story about kids drinking and like mocking the cops because they're too young to really care about the consequences. Um, yeah, great album. 40 minutes, 13 songs.
Nice and easy.
Yeah, and I listened to all their albums this week. Favorite Worst Nightmare was great too. I didn't listen to them all on repeat like I did the first one, but every album is good. Like it all has stuff. So I think I'm an Arctic Monkeys fan now.
I think I gotta deep dive the rest of the catalog because I know like AM and whatever people say AM, that's what I'm not. But
Yeah.
there's definitely gaps in there. But I do like that they're kind of doing the David Bowie approach, like how he never made the same record. Like he's like, oh, this is gonna be my pop record, this is gonna be my rock record, this is gonna be my indie record. But he never really stayed in one genre for too long. So it kind of seems like they're kind of following those footsteps a little bit too, seeing where they started and now where they are, at
Yeah.
least.
I also think these talented songwriters, like they'd get bored if they just stayed in the same thing. So I don't really put it past them if they have the chops to try different stuff and do well. Like why not?
Rise Against didn't get bored.
Rise Against didn't get bored. They've been putting out the same album for 20 years.
One last note
I
on this
mean
before
that
we
nicely.
one last note though before we move on to our next topic, but just seeing all the positive like music criticism on this one, I just wanted to kind of throw a
Yeah.
question your way and see if you feel the same way that I do. So when I see something's like hailed by critics, music critics for like Pitchfork and like all these big music publications, and like I don't get it, it like almost makes me feel dumb. But then at the same time, I'm like, I know that it's not supposed to make me feel that way,
Yeah.
but I'm like, what am I missing here? And like, why do all these critics agree when a lot of fans aren't really sure what's going on?
I feel the same way. And I think it's just so tricky with music because there's like a couple camps, like there's music you just straight up like. There's music that's really good that you don't like. Like how many times have I heard people say like Fish are killer musicians, but like it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Then there's music that's like objectively not good that you do like. Like there's so many different combinations in here that I don't think anyone should like be turning their nose up at someone for not liking stuff. And that's kind of what the vibe you get from like a lot of the music critics, especially like in like the indie world, which the Arctic Monkeys like are pretty strong in. Like even before saying like I'm an Arctic Monkeys fan now, I like rolled my eyes at myself. Like, oh wow, you like
You like the indie darlings now?
But like, who was, I forget the band last week that we talked about talking about, but then didn't talk about.
Chili Peppers.
Not the Chili Peppers. We'll get to them next week. Next week we'll do the Chili Peppers. No, it was like an indie album that I was like, oh, should we talk about this? And then I think we both listened and we're just like, don't really have much.
You're like, we could skip it. What was
Yeah.
that again?
I forget.
I'm gonna get the answer.
All right. Yeah, well, you get the answer. So they're like, all the comments in like the indie head subreddit was like praising this album. Everyone talking about how good it is. They can't believe they did it and this and that. And I'm like, this album is just really like boring to me. And I asked my friend at work because I knew he liked this band, and like I can be like, blunt with him. But I was like, yo, like this band, like, you like this album? And he's like, yeah, I think it's great. I'm like, what? Why can't? So I think that kind of speaks to like how you feel with these critics, is sometimes things are just like said to be really good and your thoughts don't align, and fuck it. You don't have to like everything. You don't have to shit on everything either. Like, that's why I'd rather just not talk about an album I hate within reason. There's certain bands like we got to talk about, but
Like T Swift today.
yeah, what a great album.
But that one actually we love. So
yeah. Are you still trying to find this band?
I'm close. Hold on.
You're not close. You're just browsing. Now I'm
Going through our
have to
text.
edit.
Hold on.
Make me have to edit.
I'm getting the spinning wheel. All right, I'll give up the search.
Now I'm looking. People need to know.
There's an album that
need
came
to
out last week,
know.
right?
Yeah.
Or week before. So it would be 14th. Sorry, you have to edit this part.
Oh, I got it. You ready?
I'm ready.
I don't know if I want to pronounce it like a vampire or pronounce it with the W. I'm gonna pronounce it like a vampire. Always.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I think you have to say it like a vampire.
Yeah, that everyone was raving. And I guess like if I really like, if I'm taking a positive from it, like the production was good. Like I'm not gonna like sit here and be like there was nothing good about it, but it just, I don't know. I guess I'm not smart enough to like that album. That's how I feel not liking it.
I think you gave a great answer though, because it's definitely true. Like there's all these different like groups. Like you can listen to something, know it's good, but no, you don't like it. And there's other things isn't good, but you still like it anyway. Like Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the genre I was thinking of, which I don't even, that's a whole other discussion. Not everything is trying to like break down music barriers and be like the greatest thing ever. Sometimes it's just good plain music. Like, I mean, plain, it's not the right word, but whatever.
Just good
Yeah,
music.
so I don't know. I didn't read what people were saying about this album though. It was pretty well received.
Yeah, let me just double
the
check
critics?
because they were flying up on for like if you look at the review scores on good old Wikipedia, there's nothing below like 4 stars.
Wow. Interesting.
NME gave it a full 5. Pace gave it a 7.7. Pitchfork gave it an 8 out of 10. Rolling Stone UK gave it 4.5. Uncut gave it 8 out of 10. Guardian gave it 4 out of 5 stars.
I didn't talk about it much, but I went back on this album. I was like, I have to try and listen to the lyrics a little more because it feels like it's probably a little more lyric based than
It
instrumental.
almost feels secondary though, like compared to like the atmosphere they set on the songs.
Yeah. That's a good point. So I don't know. There were no lyrics that like stood out to
That
me like
jumped out.
crazy. I like big ideas. Like just it felt like just kind of like looking back on the band and like having these ideas. And he had a line, the kind you'd write down, not share over the phone. So that was cool. I don't know who's wiretapping the Arctic Monkeys to steal songs, but
The
I
Black
like
Keys.
I like the I like the idea behind it. But yeah, good morning album. That's my final verdict. I think we can both agree on.
Throw that on Wikipedia.
Yeah. General admission said, good morning
Good
album.
morning album.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it this week. There was a few other like random releases. Like Jimmy Eat World put out a single um that I thought was fine. It
It's one of
didn't
their
like
slow jams.
yeah, it didn't like blow me away or anything, but I just like his voice. They did an
Just-
interview with Madison on Alt Nation on Sirius. They were doing like counting down the best emo songs to like get hyped for when we were Young Fest on Friday. So me and Nicole were just like listening to all that.
Hey, she sent me that Snapchat.
Can you guess what the number one emo song is?
So I'm not okay.
That's what Nicole said. It's the Black Parade.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna guess
Um,
like Dashboard, like hands down, maybe.
They were in there. Actually, I don't know if they were because I think they kept it to specifically bands that were at when we were young.
Nah, so I left out like a whole
Hawthorne
chunk.
Heights was in there, Bright Eyes, like Conor Oberst.
Paramore.
Yeah. But anyway, they had an interview with Jimmy Eat World and hilarious dudes, by the way. Like they really were like giving it and taking it and like joking around and all that. But
We
they
should try to
said
get them.
that
They
honestly,
seem like
like
very down to earth
they
guys.
seem
So
so down to earth that like I think they would do it, but who knows? But they said they're like, we don't have an album in mind right now. We're just having fun releasing songs when they feel right, which I think's kind of cool.
it's cool, but it goes against my whole single listening.
Yeah, but no, but these none of these songs are designated for an album. They're like, we're not saying we're not going to eventually make an album, but they're like, right now, like we're just writing, and if we like a song, we're just gonna like put it out. Because they were saying like if they make an album, they want it to be more cohesive than just a bunch of songs that they
Okay.
like. So that almost kind of goes on your side of the album.
Yeah, but with this new song they put out, which is called,
Oh yeah, I probably should have the name written down.
and I'm blanking because I just listened to it.
We're really on the ball tonight.
The whole interview threw us off a little bit.
Yeah, it's called Place Your Debts.
Place your debts. That's it.
Yeah,
Interview will be worth it though. It's coming
next,
next week.
Yeah, it's supposed to be tonight, so that's why we were a little
We're a little off our game.
Um,
But yeah, place your debt. Like this feels like it would be better surrounded by a full album.
that's a good point because it does. It's just a slower song that looks like it could use some like something on the book ending it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a good break in the action song.
Yeah. Red Jumpsuit Apparatus re-recorded Face Down as a symphonic edition. There's like a female singer singing some of the girl parts. It was cool. I don't felt a little random, but I think they did a good job with it. I'd like to maybe see them do one for like Your Guardian Angel. That'd be cool. They're gonna like transform some of these slow songs. But
Are they
I don't
doing
know.
like just song by song, or it's gonna be like a whole re-recorded album?
I don't know. They really just spent like weeks hyping up the Face Down re-recording. So I don't know if they plan to do more. I don't know even really where this came from, but they were on when we were young, so maybe they were just back together, wanted to do something. I'm almost like I feel like they have so many good better feels like the wrong word, but they have so many like heavier, really good songs from that album. And I think Face Down gets like too much attention. Like I think they deserve more love for like that album as a whole.
That album was phenomenal.
Right?
That was one that
Like
I had on repeat like all the time when it came out. And I barely listened to like Face Down on it, I feel like.
Yeah, like Damn Regret, False Pretense.
False Pretenses, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Fate's Hands, Waiting, Atrophy. Like it's such a good album. And like Face Down definitely is one of those songs that just got like bigger than like the band almost. Like that song is just like a massive, massive song. But I don't know. I want to see them make more
Misery Loves Its
songs.
Company too.
Yeah. Yeah, this album was one I used
Cat
to
and
just
Mouse.
play on repeat. I had the CD and
It was so good.
great,
Might put this on
great
tomorrow.
album. Yeah. Yeah. Great band. It's cool that they did the re-recording. I'm curious what they have in the tank because it looks like a lot of these bands are coming back. So I don't know. If we could get like Story of the Year and them to come out with new CDs in the same time frame, that'd be pretty dope.
Did they give it a year, Story of the Year? I saw they put out a single
Um,
or another single, I
I,
should say.
I they might have announced the date. I don't know. I wasn't keeping up as well as I should have been.
It's gonna be called Tear Me to Pieces. I think it comes out in 2023.
Cool. Yeah, and like some of the art, unless it was just for the singles, but kind of like matches that like sidewalks or yeah, Page Avenue. That kind of theme. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. They also this weekend on, I think it was, I don't remember if it was Friday or Saturday. I think it was Saturday. Kendrick Lamar performed in Paris and Amazon streamed it live the way they do like NFL because nighttime in Paris was like 3 o'clock here or something like that.
I think they're like 5 hours ahead.
Yeah, so I got that right. Hell yeah, time
There you
zones.
go.
What's good? But yeah, so they just streamed it and it was really cool. Like his stage setup was like a walkout stage. So like he kind of was able to go really far out into the crowd. Did like everything like DNA, Backseat Freestyle, Humble, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, King Kunta, Money Trees, Love Me, All Right. It
He
was
has
just
some cool like stage sets, right?
yeah. Well, no, the stage was pretty stripped down for the most part.
I'm thinking of like what he does on SNL.
Yeah, no, at this the stage was pretty stripped down. It was just a really cool, like long stage. And then there was a piano out there at one point, and he just walks over and plays like the, I don't know, say like a G chord, but it was like down, 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 down. And that goes into was it Humble or maybe DNA? No, what song am I thinking of?
I think DNA.
DNA? Yeah,
Or is
yeah.
it Humble?
I think it's DNA. I think
No,
they're
it's
both
Humble.
singles.
Humble's
Is
the
it
piano.
Humble?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, my bad. But yeah, that was just cool because like as soon as the crowd heard it, everyone was like, "Oh shit, we know what's coming." Um, I would love to see more concerts or artists do this. I don't know if it's fully up to Amazon or what.
Like the fish model.
Yeah, basically. But ideally, just do it on Amazon so I don't have to do any work except press
Yeah.
play. But it was awesome just being able to like throw on a concert like that and watch it. So
That's where I liked watching that Fish AC show over the summer. When
yeah,
you were at.
they call it the couch tour. It's a great way to do it. No beer lines, no bathroom lines. It's really fun. And like you get a good vibe of the show. It's not exactly the same, obviously, but there's like set list threads for Fish where like you're just talking on the internet forums about what they're like. Here we go in the Fish, but like Kendrick the Fish is that's how we do it on General Admission. But yeah, people talk like a sports team, like, oh, they're killing this jam right now. I wonder where they're gonna go next. Oh, they fell flat here. Like you watch it like a live sporting event, literally. So like, and while it wasn't quite the same like that with Kendrick, there was still people online like talking about it and just like that sense of community you get from concerts. So it's
That's
pretty
pretty
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, I'd like
Not
to
too many.
see
You
see
don't
more
really
of it.
get that.
Yeah, and the technology's clearly there. I don't know if it's just because like there's not much money to be made. But I would pay $20 to watch like I don't know Modest Mouse play Red Rocks or some shit like that. Like, why not?
Or this tour they're doing in December.
Yeah, seriously. I don't have to go to the
Most
city.
Crowded West tour. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all the news we had for this week.
And then Nickelback playing Starland.
Nickelback's gonna play Starland, of course. I wasn't gonna forget that. Starland just posted like huge announcement coming this weekend. So I like wrote it down just so I didn't forget to like look. And then I see Brett add to like our shared notes. He just goes, "Was this the Nickelback announcement?"
Yeah, like, it
Yeah.
was.
It was. I mean, that's a pretty crazy venue for them to play.
They do put on a good show from when I've seen them. I
Yeah.
will say that. And then I think that new album comes out in November, which I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I think we have to listen to it for the show.
Of course. Of course. What we should have a great interview for everyone next week that unfortunately we're hoping would be this week, but next week. Don't worry. It'll be great. I'm very excited about it. Any albums this week, Brett? I don't know that I know you gotta get your list.
Get my list out.
I didn't have much written down, but I don't really ever write anything down.
Pretty
I
sure
just
it's
let you tell me.
quiet this week.
All right. So
I
hopefully
don't think I had anything written. Yeah.
all right, we'll have a great interview and I don't know, listen to some Bayside or something.
Maybe we could
I'm
set that
sure.
up that for another interview. Little Bayside deep dive.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the next week, I think we might be disrespecting our surroundings.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. Get pumped. Get pumped. We love you all and thank you for listening. We will see you next week.
Push your feet, drive with the Ferretti.